The title of this lecture is Introduction to European Union Programs. But actually what we are going to look at is at those European programs which provide funding for countries which do not belong to the European Union. As you probably know, the European Union is constituted by today 27 member states, which you have the list of here. And the United Kingdom used to be a member, but they decided to leave this year. It is important to know which countries belong to the European Union because most programs are reserved for European Union countries. However, there are other countries which are in the status of candidate countries, and you have the list here. These countries have a special treatment because they are following a process of joining the European Union, so they can be part of some programs. And then for each program, you can have some exceptions. For instance, Horizon 2020 is the largest European research and development and innovation program. It provides funding for projects which are in the area of research, development and innovation. It will finish this year, but they are already preparing the next generation, which is called Horizon Europe. You can have here the link to the Horizon 2020 website. The easiest thing, however, is to Google H2020 and you will find the website. The interesting thing about Horizon 2020 is that there are some countries which are called associated countries. For instance, Tunisia. Tunisia is the only African country which is an associated country. What does it mean? It means that Tunisian organizations of whatever type, research companies, universities, they can participate in the program as though they were a European Union country. But in addition to that, many eligible countries do not belong to the European Union. In many cases, the calls for proposals of Horizon 2020 allow non-European Union organizations to participate. There are some specific calls which explicitly call for the participation of non-European Union countries, but the general rule is that wherever you are, in principle, if there is a good reason for participating in the program, then you are allowed to do so. So the program is very, very articulated, very complicated. It has a number of different sub-programs, but by and large, in virtually, let's say, the greatest part of the program, organizations from countries like yours can participate in the projects, get funding from the projects, of course, in partnership with European Union organizations. There are some exceptions like China, Brazil, India, but this is not the theme of this course now. The other big program is Erasmus+. Erasmus+, as you probably know, is a program which addresses basically the world of education and training, and in particular of higher education. It also addresses topics which concern youth and sports. It is structured within a central agency, which is in Brussels, and national agencies. Here again, I advise you to visit the website of the Erasmus+. But the most important strand, sub-program of Erasmus+, is the one which is called Cooperation for Higher Education Institutions in non-EU countries. This is the program, for instance, where the EduBiomed project has been funded. And it is explicitly meant for cooperation between universities in countries which do not belong to the European Union and countries which belong to the European Union, as it is in the EduBiomed partnership. You have some European countries and some non-European countries. You have another similar program which is called Capacity Building in the Field of Youth, and this, as the name says, does not address university, but it addresses associations, organizations that deal with young people. And through this link, you can get a list of the eligible countries for the capacity building for higher education. The third big strand, which is explicitly meant for non-European Union countries, is the external cooperation, EuropeAid. EuropeAid is the Directorate General for External Cooperation, also called the Cooperation for Development. And the external cooperation is structured into three areas. The pre-accession countries, IPA, this is the countries which we saw before, Albania, Kosovo, etc. The neighborhood country called ENI, European Neighborhood Initiative, and these are the countries to which you belong, are those countries which are neighbors to the European Union through land or even through sea. So all countries which belong to the Southern Mediterranean area belong to the ENI. And then the third one is the DCI, the Developing Countries Initiatives. You have many calls for proposals. I recommend that you go and look through this link to some external cooperation calls for proposal to see what they are about. So as a quick recap of what we have seen up to now, you have the H2020, which allows the participation of non-European countries. You have the Erasmus Plus, which has one strand, capacity building for higher education, which is explicitly meant for non-European Union countries. And you have EuropeAid, which is everything concerning external cooperation. Thank you very much.